What are the keys to empowered leadership? This is Mark Bowser. I'll be right back. The keys to empowered leadership. So the goal is, how do we become more effective leaders? And so let's start out by just simply defining what leadership is. Leadership can be defined as motivating one or more people to move in a certain direction. Now that move can be in the form of taking some action and or acquiring a new belief. So by this definition, leadership could also be defined as influence. And it can also be defined as sales. Now both are fundamental elements in your success. You may have never thought of it that way. But becoming better at leadership, at influence, and at sales can help prosper our lives. Now, you may or may not thought of it that way, but I'm going to give it everything I've got to influence you on the absolute truth of that fact. And so leadership is the art of influencing movement toward a certain vision that you may have. Effective leadership, in my opinion, is the most vital element to any organization. With it, you can reach the stars. Without it, and the murkiest swamp will become your home. As John Maxwell says, everything rises and falls on leadership. So what is effective leadership, and how do we become that kind of a leader? Now, I believe one of the best definitions comes from author J. Oswald Sanders when he described leadership as influence. Sound familiar? We are influencing people every day. It may be as simple as influencing your coworkers on where to go out to eat lunch, or as vital as influencing your teenage daughter not to get on drugs. Now, the first thing I think we need to understand is that there is a difference between an influential leader and a positional leader. The positional leader has the title. I am the president. I am the director. I am the king of the nation. Well, that is great. But that doesn't in and of itself make you influential. The influential leader may be the peasant of the kingdom or the entry-level employee. Influence is about inspiring and moving people into action in order to reach a desired goal. Now, I hope you have the position, but I also hope you have the trust, the respect, and the heart of your people. Whatever your position is at this time, I want to help you develop into the influential person that you were born to be. Before we can go any further, I believe it is important that we dig a little deeper into the explanations and actions of leadership. So let me ask you a question. Is there a difference between a leader and a manager? There is, isn't there? Okay, so what does a leader do? Well, a leader helps people to take action, right? They create a vision. Now, we may not create the vision for the entire organization, but you definitely do for your part of it. All right, so what does a manager do? They make it happen. They implement the vision. The leader creates where we are going, and the manager breaks the vision into manageable parts and assigns the task to the right people and assures that it happens. All right? Let me throw another question out there. What does a coach do? Well, a coach motivates, inspires, teaches, provides resources, disciplines when necessary, etc. So which are we? Are we a leader, a manager, or a coach? Well, I believe we're all three. I don't think we can separate it anymore. We have to be a leader / manager / coach. That is a little bit more daunting task for us, but it makes us more effective and more successful in the long run. Before we can get into the nuts and bolts of leadership, let's pause for a moment and let's talk about 3 fundamental facts of leadership. Understanding these 3 facts will help us to jumpstart our development in becoming more influential individuals and more influential leaders. So, the 3 facts are simply these. Number 1, one person can make a difference. Number 2, start leading today. And number 3, the office doesn't make the person. So let's dig into fact number 1. One person can make a difference. This is probably not a new saying to you. But what pictures come to mind when you read or hear a statement such as that? If you're like many people, it was a picture in your mind of maybe Billy Graham or Martin Luther King Jr. or Mother Teresa or Gandhi or many, many others. However, do you see someone you may be missing on that list? I do. That someone is you. You see, Mother Teresa didn't go out to become a saint. She went out to save one dying person. She was walking down the street and saw a person dying in a gutter. She said to herself, "That is not right. Everyone should die with dignity." And the rest, they say, is history. You see, great leaders, great physicians, sales champions, and consultants figure out how their influence can touch a life, and by doing that, their influence may touch hundreds, thousands, and maybe even millions of lives. So the question is, where can your leadership grow to make a bigger difference than you are making today? You're probably making a difference, but how can your leadership grow? How can it make a difference in more people? Fact number 2. Start leading today. See, many times young leaders, for example, will say, I'm just not ready to lead. I will wait till I read that leadership book or go to that leadership seminar or learn that skill or take that college course. Now, those are all important things, but I encourage you. And the truth of the matter is that your organization and your team can't wait. You need to start leading today and learn as you lead. None of us will ever know everything there is to leadership. It's a continual growing process. We can't wait till we know all the leadership principles because there's too many, and we have to continue to learn as we grow and continue to learning all the time. Fact number 3, the office doesn't make the person. Leadership is not about the corner office. Have you ever worked for somebody who thought it was about the corner office? They were more concerned about their promotion or their prestige and their accolades. And in the process, they lost their team and many times their customers as a result. Now, please don't misunderstand me. I have no problem with comfortable offices and a comfortable work environment. In fact, I am actually for it. But we must not put the cart before the horse. My family owns the Bright Corporation in Indiana, and today my family has a comfortable work environment, and the executives have nice offices. But it wasn't always that way. But my dad and my uncle made sure the horse came before the cart, and now the company has the resources to support that type of environment. They were more concerned with helping their team succeed and serving their customers than they were about having a cushy sofa and a picture window in their office. As a result of that very wise decision, they don't have a revolving door for their team, or worse yet, for their customers. Their team has tremendous loyalty. They have team members that have worked for the Bright Corporation for over 20 years. They have customers that also go that far back. Now, how rare is that? In this day and age, very. Focus on your team and focus on your customers, and the rest will take care of itself. Now let's talk about the styles of leadership. There are 3 basic styles of leadership. Now all of us use these 3 styles. Now let me pause here for a minute and say that I am not suggesting you change your style. What I am suggesting is that you become flexible with the styles. Would you agree with me that your style works some of the time and fails miserably some of the time? Now why is that? Because one style doesn't fit every situation. What I am suggesting is that you use a more flexible situational leadership style. When it comes to leadership styles, you have to be flexible. Use the style that fits the situation and the people involved. And so what are the 3 leadership styles? Well, number 1, autocratic. Number 2, democratic. And number 3, free reign. So let me give an example. Let me explain each style as and when to use it. So autocratic. The autocratic leader is more like a general, the commander of an army. They are quick decision makers and they tell others what to do. Now, we saw this style a great deal in the corporate world in the 1950s through about the 1980s. We still see it today, but not quite as much as those earlier decades. Now, why did we see it so much in the past? Well, where did the CEOs and presidents of organizations get their training? Many of them came right out of the military. Now, is autocratic leadership a good style for the military? Absolutely. Particularly in wartime. Now, why is that? Because in a crisis or emergency decision, it is designed for that. Autocratic leaders took action and won wars. Now, after the war, these leaders came back and took their place in the corporate world. They discovered that their civilian counterparts didn't take to orders like their military counterparts. Now, this caused them some challenges. The leaders discovered that their style didn't work in every situation. So they learned that they had to be more flexible in their leadership styles. There is still a place for autocratic leadership in the corporate world because we have emergencies and other unique situations that require quick decisions and quick actions. But what we have to do in order to maximize our effectiveness is not get stuck in one style. Use the style that best fits the situation. The second style, democratic. The democratic style, this is the leadership style of teamwork. It is run by democracy. We put things to a vote to make decisions and the majority rules. This is great for building team loyalty and participation. But let me ask you a question. Should every decision at your office be put to a vote? Well, of course not. So when is this a good leadership style to use? When you need to get buy-in by having open discussions where you can answer questions and sell your vision. And when the decisions aren't a major importance. So you use this style to create rapport and to create a teamwork environment. Third style is free reign. So what does it mean to have a free reign? This is basically let your team do their thing. You don't micromanage, but the challenge that your team members have to be excellent, well-trained, and go-getters for it to succeed. That's the key to free reign, because you let them go on their own, so you have to have a good, solid, trained team. That's going to be the key to free reign, letting them go out there on their own and make it happen. Now, those are the three styles of leadership. All of them are vital. All of them are important. Use the style that best fits the situation and the team members involved, and you will find yourself succeeding in all leadership situations. For more information on this, I encourage you to check out my book, 3 Pillars of Success. Also, check out my website, markbowser.com, and on there you will also find a longer audio version called the Keys to Empowered Leadership. Thanks for listening today. This is Mark Bowser. Make it a great day. God bless you.